Hey y'all. So I am so excited to tell you that I am launching a Be Your Own Intuitive membership. I cannot tell you how excited I am about this, except I'll endeavor to tell you right now how excited I am about this. I had a Be Your Own Intuitive webinar course previously, which provided a lot of the foundation for this membership. However, even though the webinar was really beautiful and wonderful experience, not everybody was able to participate because of time differences and work schedules and so on and so forth. So this membership is going to be on-demand videos for you every single week for you to watch when you can on your own time. These are going to be videos teaching you how to access and work with your intuition, because as you know, everybody, I believe, everybody is intuitive. It's just about understanding what your tools are, how to access them, how to really work with your intuition in a way where you can be your own guidance system, where you can truly be your own intuitive. And I'm really excited to share all that I know with you in this membership course. I'm going to be talking about how to read the tarot, what the tarot is all about, how to read it intuitively, how to, again, really develop your own intuition and really hone it into a nicely working muscle group for you. I'm going to be talking about how I read tarot on YouTube and really just anything and everything that I know about the wild and wonderful world of intuitive development and tarot and everything esoteric. So I'm so excited to share this with you guys. So I have a link to the waiting list in the description box below this video. The waiting list is going to serve as holding your place within the membership course unofficially before I do a hard launch pretty soon. So with that, I want the groups to have a sort of intimacy where everyone can bond and connect if they like. And so I'm not going to have membership just open ongoing. I will open and close it sort of in waves. So this is your opportunity to join right as we launch. And I'm just so excited to be with you on this journey and share with you all that I know. I will also have a monthly Zoom meeting for everybody in the membership where I come on. You can ask me anything you want to. We can talk about all the things. We can talk about your experiences. We can answer really any and all questions you could possibly have. This is also a way for me to connect with you guys on a more personal and intimate basis, which as a teacher, I really love to do. So again, I am so excited to offer this to you. I so hope that you'll join me in this membership. I'm just so excited about it, and to really pass along all the knowledge that I've acquired onto you so that you can really be your own intuitive and be your own guidance system, because that to me is just about the most important thing that there is as a spiritual being having a human experience. So with that being said, the link is in the description box below for the wait list. And I just thank you in advance so much for joining me over there. And I'm so excited to connect with you all. And be well. Until next time. Hey Cancerians, how y'all doing? Welcome. We're gonna be taking a look at your first half of November general reading here. So the first thing that came through in your meditation was bloom where you're planted. Big message. Bloom where you're planted. I saw the image of a river, and the Cancerian collective was floating down said river, and then it stopped at some point, and it wasn't able to move along any further, and instead it grew roots. Like it was like, what I saw was the word cancer, like made out of wood. And then it grew roots, stopped somewhere in the river, grew roots, and then flourished into this beautiful magnolia tree. In the middle of this river, it grew up, very tall, beautiful, with those beautiful pink magnolia blossoms, pink and white. And then I saw there was a creature like climbing the tree as it grew, and I couldn't see it until it was kind of sat up top after the tree had finished growing. It was a lemur. Now, lemur equates to that of the sun in the tarot, which is illumination, enlightenment, health, wellness, happiness, joy. There's also a Two of Swords aspect to lemur medicine as well, with the black and the white, which is bringing together the heart and the head for equal conference through stillness. But it feels like with this lemur medicine and this bloom where you're planted, that the greatest joy to be found and had for you right now is exactly where you are, which should come down to a certain shift of perspective or just acknowledging it and just really choosing to bloom where you're planted. It doesn't feel the time to keep moving down the river, as it were, right now. It doesn't feel like the time for, making big life-changing decisions or changes. It feels like for the time being, bloom where you're planted. Also we have the full moon. You guys are ruled by the moon. It's your ruling planet. And we have the full moon in Taurus on the 8th of this month, which is a slow-moving energy, which is about how we nourish ourselves, how we are our own best nurturers and comforts, how do we tend to the physical comforts and aspects of our experience through the material realm. So I like that it's like bloom where you planted. It's a tree with the roots, and then we have the Taurus full moon coming up. I feel like it's a really nice energy with which you can, work from a place of ease. So really nice. Let's go ahead and see what the cards say. Hey, Cancerians, let's go ahead and see what your animal energy is for the first half of November. Oh, 2 for 1. Okay. Oh, beautiful. I love it. Okay. Really, really, really beautiful. So first we have the black egg. So that circle there represents spirit, right? Which is really, it's very interesting because when we're looking at spirit, this is the equivalent of like a major arcana, like one step up from a major arcana. And I like that that's coming through for you because it speaks to a certain, divine wisdom that's coming through in terms of, it's acknowledging and seeing the perfection of exactly where you are. Regardless of what is and is not as you would prefer it, there is perfection in where you are right now. It's not always easy to see and embody that truth, but that's really coming through for you. The black egg is all about the truth. It's about the truth that exists within you. And for that reason, it most closely equates to the King of Swords and the Tarot, which is about clear seeing, discernment, authority, and really not having any sort of, foggy thinking or any, deception within your own mind or around you that muddies the truth. From your sight, you're able to see clearly, you're able to be, steeped well into your discernment, and you don't second guess anything because you know what you know. That's King of Swords energy. Mouse is stunning because it's 2 of Pentacles energy, but it's also about the details. It's about what you put your focus on, what you pay attention to, what you give energy is what's going to grow. I love that. A mouse is going to come in and help you see things from a fresh new perspective and a gentle, encouraging way. A little bit different than like an eagle or a hawk, which are birds of prey, right? Like the mouse is a bit more, it's a bit more like a friend, right? It's a bit more like a friend, like, hey, like the 2 of Pentacles is about balancing work and personal life as well, right? Like, juggling act. But the mouse comes in with this beautiful earth energy and just goes, hey, let's try to look at it this way. What if we looked at that and said, oh, that feels really nice. We're grateful for that. Let's be in that energy, right? The mouse energy is a really gentle way of opening us up to the possibilities of joy and happiness in the give it moment or time that we're in. It's really, really beautiful. Really, really beautiful. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on. Oh, the sun. What did I say lemur energy was? Remember how we talked about the sun in your opening meditation? Did I not see a tree? Do you see this tree branch growing in the middle of the river? Beautiful. Illumination, wellness, health. We talked about this, but it's interesting because it is truth and clarity and clear perception, and then also lines with the black egg and mouse. This is very much comes down to how you see things in your perspective. But it feels like the opportunity here is very joyful for you, and you have a lot to gain out of really working with this energy as it is. The perfection of wherever you are, right? It's really beautiful. Really, really beautiful. Also very drawn to the stillness in there as well. It's so funny. I saw that creature climbing the trees. You got a tree here. Really nice. Ooh. Wow. What's that? Interesting. So here we have the King of Wands. So interesting. It is fire energy, right? which speaks of transformation and action. But why I really love this for you is because King of Wands is the king of knowing when to move and when to be still. See how he is asceted and how the crow is asceted, right? The crow is going to be the first one to let him know, hey, it's time to move, right? The King of Wands is brilliant because he never, similarly to the King of Swords, a bit different, he never wastes his time. He always has all the energy that he needs because he doesn't waste his time and doesn't waste his energy. He knows exactly how much he has to give to ABC, XYZ and what he doesn't have to give to ABC, XYZ. And so he always maintains his own sense of equilibrium because he is the master of timing. Remember when I said this wasn't necessarily the time to run ahead and make major decisions or invite big changes into your atmosphere, but instead to bloom where you're planted? There's really something coming through. But the thing is, the greater wisdom to this is that I feel like the point and purpose is that if you're able to bloom where you're planted and truly embody the joy and see the perfection of where you are, regardless of what, may not be to your liking, the more you are able to not only just, be in the present moment, of course, but also you're able to align to potentials that are not yet ready for you, right? So it's like, if I can really bloom where I'm planted, enjoy where I am, and really just embody this sunny, energy and truth, and with the full moon in Taurus, the self-love, self-nurturing, then when the river, it's time for it to flow again and things start moving, right? Then I will have all the energy I need with which to meet it. I'll have all of the, focus I need. I'll have, everything that I need because I've accumulated it from where I was before, from a place of, just present enjoyment. This has come up quite a bit today. 5 of Swords. Okay, let's talk. So 5 of Swords comes up. 5 is the number of change, right? We're talking about not the best time for change necessarily. So 5 of Swords is about people acting out of their own integrity or maybe having, ulterior motives than what they lead with or appear. But it's interesting how it's coming through here because you see this moon in the background and that's your ruling planet. And then we have sort of this, these buildings. This always reminds me of the Bronx. This always looks like the Bronx, New York to me. But you have these buildings and then you have the X with the cut down trees and this beautiful deer here in the foreground, which is a, Empress energy. It's a symbol of love and compassion and masculine and femininity, existing within the same space as a balanced duo. I feel like for you, you're being called to really nurture and nourish yourself. And yes, bloom where you're planted, like we've said, but there's also an aspect of this that there's some harsh elements of it feels like there are elements of your environment that feel harsh. I feel like some of you could really live in a place that feels a bit harsh or is polluted or feels, it feels like it's at odds with, your spirit and what you might need. Like this deer does not belong here. And I feel like there's something in your surroundings that, I feel like what this is saying is as you move through this time, do what you need to do and make the choices that you need to make in order to maintain your own sense of well-being and joy. But I feel like there are people or places or aspects around you that don't elicit good feeling within you or affect your mind in a way that is not healthy. You can observe this by if you're feeling one way, if you feel all right, then you go hang out with someone, or you go to, you spend certain time with certain coworkers or whatever. You take a certain phone call from a family member or a friend, and then you just don't feel right afterwards. You feel drained. You feel less positive than you did. I feel like I'm picking up on, a group of you that are quite empathic. And so you're taking on people's feelings as your own. You may not even recognize that that's what's going on. But I'm hearing to really protect your energy because there's a lot of intensity going on around you. And that makes a lot of sense, in terms of the tree and the river and just being still where you are. And being, allowing yourself to really exist outside of the energy of others that, are moving around you, right? It just feels like it's a juxtaposition between what you're in need of and what is right and feels good for you, and then what's going on externally. It just feels like those two things are at odds. But here's the thing. If a person, place, or thing, if the price of that is your own happiness and wellness or your good energy, then that's too high a price to pay, right? So you can look at it from that. And I feel like that's kind of what the black egg is coming in here to discuss as well, because I feel like there's an aspect of this that it's like, hey, like use your, like really notice, like really observe your feelings, observe how you feel after you go certain places, hang out with certain people, talk to certain people, and like really even watch certain things on the news or TV or movie. Like observe yourself, be the mouse, notice the details of what affects your mood. And that will only put you in a position of knowledge, which is power, so that you can make changes as needed. You know, as the moon is your ruling planet, you guys are very sensitive to, you know, the tides and the phases of, you know, the ocean and the moon, and things can kind of come and go, and it's very, very changeable, right? But I feel like the way to work with that within you, because it can be a superpower, absolutely, right? You guys are highly intuitive. You're able to pick up on things that others aren't. There's a whole wealth of positive aspects to that. But I feel like we're looking at a shadow aspect of your heightened sensitivity, or the aspect of you that is, you know, truly an empath. So I feel like there's a responsibility coming through that said, like, if you saw this lovely deer walking among all these swords and all this smog, like, well, what would you do? Would you take pains to like guide it to the safety of the forest? Like, you know what I mean? Nurture yourself, care for yourself, protect yourself, shield yourself, possibly energetic shields from anything that feels harsh or makes or takes away your joy, right? Feels really, really important. Feels really important. Okay, let's get some advice. Advice for Cancer. Ah, perfection. Your advice is justice. I love this so much. So this is beautiful Libra energy. Justice speaks of balance, fairness, equilibrium, right? The fact that this is coming up is your advice. Okay, so in Egyptian mythology, the story goes like when you would pass over, when you would die, right? You had to put your heart on one side of a scale and then a feather on the other. And if your heart was heavier than the feather, then you weren't able to pass through, right? Because your heart wasn't light enough, and you know, you didn't want that. So with that, remember how we're talking about really being honest with yourself and observing what makes your heart heavy or what makes you feel less than you did before? Really being conscious of that. Put your heart on this side of the scale, and anything that, you know, makes it heavier, makes it drop down, makes it, you know, result in that imbalance, as it were. Really take notice of it, and then ask yourself, you know, what are there any changes that you can make around that at all? Are there any precautions you can take? Can you employ an energetic shield? Can you set some boundaries? Okay, feels really important. No one's going to nurture and protect your energy like you can. Okay. Let's get an oracle. Feeling like this one. Let's do this one. Let's get an oracle for Cancer. Okay. Ooh. Beautiful. I'm so here for it. Anticipation. Had to do it. So I love this so much because this very much speaks. See how this crow is like really standing where they are and just waiting. You know, the number 3 ties it to the Empress in the Tarot, which is about anticipation, happy expectations, creativity, the building of something in the gestation process. So I really like this. We got the trees out here as well, and then like sitting in the middle of them. You know, this is really stunning because we talked about this isn't the time to necessarily move forward or rush forward. It's about to be exactly where you are and know that when the time to come to move arrives, that you will know it and you will, respond. But it's interesting because in this context, it's like maybe a greater reason and purpose for you doing that is because you are being prepared for what is yet to come and something that you can be in happy anticipation of. I'm hearing March, as in the month, not as in the activity. Number 3, March is the 3rd month of the year, and I'm hearing to take that a bit literally. I do feel like there's going to be some significant shift around March for you, and this time leading up to then, at least in the Northern Hemisphere, let's just take this as it lays. In the Northern Hemisphere, now is when the leaves are falling. We're deep into autumn. We're moving towards winter, and there are these bare trees here. And I saw the bloom of the magnolia in your meditation, and then we have like the flowering branches here. I'm hearing that when things start to bloom again, and between Imbolc and the spring equinox, right, which is February 2nd to like March 20th, 21st or so, roughly. And that time period is going to be when you really see a lot of things start to move and come together for you, and to just enjoy that anticipation and believe and know that. Be the Empress and expect good things because they are coming. But for now, be where you are, take care of yourself, nurture your energy, and notice the details. Be mindful of what does and what does not work for you. Really, really beautiful, Cancers. Really, really beautiful. So with that being said, thank you so much for being here. I so hope that this helps and resonates. If so, please let me know in the comments below because I absolutely love reading your comments. Also, I made a video about this recently where there's something going on with YouTube where they're mass unsubscribing people from the channel. So what I have found to do is if you comment on this video and like it, doesn't matter what the comment is, it can be like an emoji, whatever, then that alerts YouTube to the fact that you are interacting. You don't want to be unsubscribed. So if you want to stay subscribed, at least for the next while until this resolves itself, hopefully, I'm going to need you to comment and like on the video so that you stay subscribed if you'd like to stay subscribed. So also the link to sign up for my Be Your Own Intuitive membership is in the description box below. I'm so excited to see you guys over there on the wait list, and I'm so excited to connect with you during the membership course. And lastly, just thank you. Thank you so much for being here. If you are watching this, I so appreciate you and send you so many thanks. And with that being said, most of all, and as always, just thank you for being you, and be well. Until next time.